Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? Lynn,
Good.
Lean, Kathleen. Give everybody a minute to get on. So while we're waiting, do you have like formal like coverage processes and arrangements for team members when they go on vacation and they need coverage?
Yes, my team does. We actually help each other out whenever there's someone that's out of town.
And it's just is it done member to member or does it all go through you? How do you handle that? Was that Lynn, right? You still there? You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yes.
Sorry, when I do it from my phone, it comes up different. Yeah, most of them ask through me, but honestly, I'm pretty blessed with a nice group of team members, so everybody's really willing to help each other. And during our weekly meetings, we talk about whatever we have going on, so if we need to coordinate something, they do it during the meeting as well.
And then how does it work if, some people abuse it? Say, hey, can you go show this house? Do they pay a referral fee if there's an offer made? Do they pay hourly?
Here I go again, pretty blessed. Never had that as a conflict. Most people are pretty available for their work. I know if I'm out of town and I know it's going to be several showings that I'm going to miss, I offer something to the team member that covers for me and something extra if the deal goes through because they've shown the home to the particular buyer.
Gotcha. Anybody else have anything that they use that you can kind of share? Because I'm getting a lot of people out of the area, and it's like emergency show here, and this weekend I got one where hey, one of our new offices had somebody, I want to do a showing, I'll give $30, and nobody was interested in doing it, and I'm just like leaning into people for favors, and I thought this would be a really good topic for today. And by the way, Donna, how did that work out? All right.
Yeah, it went really well. The client was not interested in the home, but I do want to add to finding coverage. I always say it's so important to collaborate together and find a friend who's probably going to be in an area that you don't do a lot of business with, and then you can say, hey, you know what, if you ever have a client that needs to see a house but where I am, I'll do it for you, and vice versa, so that way you don't have to pay someone to do it. You can be friends. When I was a realtor, that's what I used to do. I used to cover my colleagues, and then they used to cover me when I was away, or if it was an emergency showing. That's my opinion. But thank you, Rob, for finding last minute someone to cover us. It was appreciated.
Yes, no, but it's kind of like what we do, but just like really start escalate now, and I just want everybody to have a little bit more structure to it, so it's not a fire drill. No, and while I say that, Chief Baker is on. So Glenn, how does your team handle it when people are like away on vacation, they need coverage? Does it go through you or Liz, or do they do it direct? And is there compensation?
Well, yeah, all of our ICAs have compensation for all activities like that. So showings, sitting, any inspections, things like that are all predetermined, but that's all year long. So it's not just for vacation time.
So you mean your team members?
Yeah, we have it predefined. We all got on a meeting, agreed on what a reasonable rate was for each of the activities. And that's just what we use for compensation back and forth. There's never a question.
And do they just Venmo each other, or how do they take care of the compensation?
Yep. We just Venmo or Zelle, one of the two.
Yeah, because I think that's really right, instead of just the hey, you help me and I'll help you. Usually that person helps somebody 4 times, the other person doesn't ask for anything. So
yeah, and it's pretty healthy reimbursement for the activities. Sometimes I see ones come out that someone needs something covered, and I'm like, my team's not even going to look at it because they're like, that's just way too low.
And yeah, there was somebody from one of our new offices wanted to offer $30 for a showing. I assume that's way too low, right?
Yeah, I don't think my team members would walk from the bedroom to the kitchen for that.
So and like a local showing, $75, 50, Glenn, or you don't recall?
No, I do. So a showing, if you're doing single showing, it's $50. If you're doing multiples, it's $35 a showing. And if it's something extended past 25 miles from wherever you start, then there's like an override on it because it's going to take a lot of travel time and such. But also for like inspections that, we have a rate for those with $75 an inspection. And if it extends past 2 hours, then it goes another $25.
So that's like a CO or a home inspection?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Glenn, do you know, or do you suspect that there's a lot of cross coverage for this stuff?
Oh, we do it all the time. I mean, I do it a lot. I pay people a ton to do these activities. But it happens all the time. I would say at least once or twice a week.
And showing, covering, and inspection, are there anything else that you have on that list?
So we have home inspection, a radon door open, sign and lockbox removal, showing on behalf of an agent, walkthrough for smoke or a septic inspection. And then we have an appraisal one as well.
And are you open to sharing what those are, Glenn?
Yeah,
Not to put you on the spot.
I'll screenshot it.
That would be great. Chopper, do you have any of that type of sharing process that's predefined?
Sorry, I just jumped on.
So like I was saying, like for summer season, this weekend I kind of got blasted with a lot of people that needed people to cover showings, and some people are like, oh, I didn't think about compensation. Other people are like, oh, I'm gonna pay $30, and like nobody wanted to move. And I just think it's a lot of effort for trying to coordinate that. And if there were established plans, like if Patrick can't do a showing and he needs somebody to cover for the weekend, is there a compensation plan, or is it negotiated every single time separately?
No, there's an agreement. Each team member has like a partner to cover for them when they leave. And they have that all worked out ahead of time. But yeah, no, because I encourage them, because when they get a little grumpy and stuff, that's when I yell at them to go on vacation or just go away. Some of them burn the candle at both ends, me included. And I tell them to get up and get out. But yes, the compensation's already set up among themselves, and everybody partners with someone else. Somebody always covers.
Gotcha. And this is for everybody. Does anybody find it challenging to keep people motivated during the summer? And what's your thoughts on that?
We don't.
So you don't.
I don't either. I think what I find is that the people that are less motivated, that's just who they are. It doesn't matter what season it is.
And if you do weekly meetings, do you have somebody that covers when you're on vacation, or you just shut it down?
We change ours to Zoom. We still have the meeting.
So you still do the meeting. Glenn, do you ever have anybody impersonate you?
Not yet. Even if I'm on vacation, I generally never, ever cancel our team meetings.
Gotcha.
What we like to do is I'll make a series of meetings where I'll let one of the team members lead it and bring up a topic. Because I think they get tired of listening to me or Patrick. So we'll task them with different things to do, and then it kind of breaks up. It lacks monotony then,
And maybe even the protocol would be good for people who are the overachievers, right? Because sometimes your buyers are demanding, and you can only be one place at one time, even if you are accommodating in this environment. So maybe this is something that goes beyond. And Glenn, do you or anybody, does anybody use a sign removal company, like to put them in and take them out?
I do.
You do? Lynn, no. Sophia, do you use a sign company? Yeah. And
Yes, I do.
for the standard signs, not non-post, the regular ones, you don't need to have a dig test done, but if you're putting a post sign in, do you need to have that marked before you put it in most places, or everywhere?
It was the practice before COVID because some knucklehead in South Jersey hit a gas line. So it doesn't, I don't see it anymore.
So you're
Yeah,
not doing-
anything over 12 inches is required though.
Correct.
So Glenn, do you use posts?
We use full post, yeah, none of the small signs.
So do you get it marked before you put them in?
Yeah, it's a part of our process every time.
And do you use a third party to do it or no?
No, we have all of our own signs.
You have install your own signs, Glenn? You have
Yep.
someone in the team? Okay.
And what do you do, Chopper?
I have a company. The company's been bought out 3 times and stayed with them. They come from Connecticut.
What's the company called?
On the market.
Oh,
Tom Flynn's the owner.
Tom Flynn. Okay. And they're pretty, what's the lead time for that?
Couple days, it depends. I mean, Big Bill had a stroke not too long ago, so they were a little messed up for a week, but they bounced right back.
And is that like $75 in and out or more than that?
I'm grandfathered in.
Would otherwise it would be more than that, right?
My commercial signs are $100. Other signs are less than that 75.
And team leaders, here's a sore spot. Maybe it's not affecting many of you, but how about lockbox control? Do you provide them with all their lockboxes?
No, they have to buy their own.
So they buy their own chopper? Do you provide them?
Yeah, I think I got 45 of each, plus 5 Hobokens or Hudson and 4 Monmouth.
Because I had a team member that was terminated and a customer came here and they brought in the doorknob. They said the person never called them back. It's like, wow, that's really poor management. That lockbox is worth something. Plus the customer support was horrible. And Glenn, do you own all of them or does your team buy them?
So I own a lot of them. The team members do have their own as well,
Okay.
but there's no promise of a post or a lockbox to the team. If they're available, it is. We've never run out, but if they're available, otherwise they have to take care of their own.
And while I'm kind of going down this this track here, all the team members do their own listing prep work, correct? Anybody have any support staff that helps with that?
Liz does a peer review on everyone.
For every listing appointment?
Listing. So whether it's putting it up, I should say, not prep.
And is anybody like that buyer concept and want to customize it for your team members?
Is that what you showed last week at the meeting?
I think I
The
showed
flip
it.
book?
Yeah, the flip book. I think I showed it like 2 weeks ago. Donna did last week's, and then I probably did it maybe 2 weeks before that as well, I think.
Okay, I would like that for my team if I can have it. Please.
And would you be updating it for each? Would you be updating it like a listing presentation or listing
Yes.
conversation?
Yes.
So then the question is, are we going to be able to teach your team member, like the last part that's customized?
Mhm.
To me, that's a real benefit to differentiating ourselves on price. But you need to do that for each market. At least look at the pending inventory, look at the recently sold. I was watching it was actually a YouTube with a channel called The Mortgage Coach. And this one lady, I believe she was in Virginia, said that what she has her team members do is look at the criteria and then find a sold property that met that criteria, basically to test the feasibility of it instead of like looking for a needle in a haystack. And, you know, they walk through that with the, if there's a condo, if it's you know, what the property taxes are in that area. And I thought that that was a pretty good exercise instead of kind of just loosely saying, hey, you can afford 600 with, you know, 10% down, right? You know, looking at, you know, what the bid to ask is, setting the right expectations, doing a feasibility test before they get, you know, to engage running them around for something that might not exist. And I know that probably all of us on the call here do that, but maybe formalizing that so that the buyers know what to expect as part of the buyer exclusive buyer agency agreement. You know, and then it would require a little bit of extra work by our lenders, but I think the better lenders are going to want to be more engaged with the clients, and they'll be likely to keep them longer. And you know, the clients won't go to Rocket Mortgage and have their closing delayed by 2 weeks like I just had. So those are you know, some additional work up front for everybody, but I think it'll add some value. Anybody do that? Anybody ever thought about that idea? Donna, have you seen anybody doing that?
No, I have not.
It's an interesting idea, and it kind of, you know, it prevents disappointment and wasted time. You know, in the example where the lady was talking about it, she would say, hey, you know, in Glen Ridge, you know, there were only 7 properties that came on that met your criteria in the past year. And that means that one will come on once every, you know, 3.5 weeks. You know, and I think that was really powerful in setting the right expectation with the consumer. So food for thought. We need to think at the lowest common denominator in terms of setting up structure. So, you know, our team members have the best shot to have consistency and deliver a high level of service. You know, because all of our teams, we have people that are rock stars and, you know, some people who don't have the same performance. And I'd like to see how we can, you know, elevate the others to rock star status. And, you know, there also was, you know, an example, and I would just be curious at how everybody here feels about it, is if a team member wants to give up a listing or, you know, wants to take a listing outside the area, or it becomes difficult because it's far, you know, do you generally release it or try to refer it out to somebody else? Like, what's your thoughts on something like that with a difficult client? I guess everybody takes care of them.
I guess I will start by saying something. If a team member or a team leader does not want to take that listing, they should always go to the broker manager and try and refer it out before just letting the listing go, for sure. I know certain, like for example, Hudson County. So if you took a listing in Jersey City and you only listed on Garden State, you can't. You have to list it on Hudson, but then you can't ask someone else to list it on Hudson for you. So that means you will not be able to take that listing. You would have to refer it out or become a member. And I'm sure they're going to start doing that for every MLS sooner than we think.
I guess, and you can't even be a secondary if you're not a member of the MLS, right? A co-listing agent.
I have done in the past where if one of our agents had a listing in Jersey City, it would go under my name and I would just email the leads, but it just becomes an inconvenience for the agent as well, especially when they're receiving offers. So I'm just saying that, you know, if you're going to take a listing out of area, just make sure that you are 100% committed and possibly even become a member of that MLS.
And this might be something that everybody knows, but I'll mention this anyway. For buyers outside the area, many of our team leaders are members of multiple different MLS systems. But if your team member is not a member of that MLS system, they can schedule showings, but their super key would not work. But it doesn't mean that they cannot schedule showings and handle all the administrative parts. And I don't know, some of us may have like a key that you'll let somebody borrow on a designated phone. If you do that, then that's a solution that works, because, you know, I have a key for all the different MLSs, because as a broker in New Jersey, I need to be a member of them all. So somebody can borrow my phone, which is a phone I don't use, but they can schedule, if it's through Showing Time, through the Showing Time app, and not have to have all those communications go back and forth to me, if that makes any sense. Like, in Glenn, you don't have, you're a member of 2 MLSs or more? Glenn or Chopper, do you?
I'm sorry, I remember too.
2. And Chopper, you're probably what, 3?
5.
You remember 5.
Yep.
And your key, your access key is on your real phone, right?
Correct.
So then you can't share access. You can only share if you do that, the research on your team, correct?
Correct. Basically, I have it because of the listings that I do. Our team, you know, I always make sure that no matter what I do, it's always a minimum of New Jersey and Garden State MLS. And then it's Hudson, Mammals, and then Andrew now is in New York. We got a few listings in New York State.
Very good. All right, well, if you I'll share with Glenn's permission the fee schedule if anybody wants to, you know, use that as a benchmark. Glenn's always been very generous with sharing, so thank you kindly for that. And look, I plan on, you know, doing some travel, but I also plan on trying to be efficient so that, you know, everybody doesn't miss out on, you know, that we can't afford to miss, you know, 2, 3, 5 weeks of business because we're not physically here. So I want to make sure that we are mentally, and our business doesn't miss a beat while we're doing whatever we need to do. And if you're a small team and you need to arrange for coverage or some assistance while you're traveling, because we all need travel. And if we don't do the travel, you know, we're probably going to be grumpy and not recharged for the fall when we're very much needed with this change. And I want to be ready to not only handle, but to really take advantage of the situation by being overly prepared for the transition. So I appreciate you all coming on as the summer comes about. Do you have any thoughts? I'm thinking of canceling the July 5th Friday call. Does anybody think I shouldn't or I should? So I'm
I
thinking
would.
that you would cancel it, Chopper?
Definitely. I mean, it's not about me, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
but I think everybody's gonna, because it's the 4th is a Thursday, I think everybody's gonna be away.
Yeah.
All right, so as much as it hurts me to cancel, I will, but I just don't think people will show up on that holiday weekend. Thank you, everybody.
Rob, wait, 1 second. Can I just say something? For next Tuesday, July 2nd and August 6th, we're doing rental compliance. If you are in New Jersey, please encourage your team members to attend one of them. We will send out an email and a text message. We highly recommend that you guys really push your agents, your team members to join either July 2nd, 10 to 11, or August 6th. There's been so many changes since March, and we have come across so many agents that are not aware of all the changes. So we're doing rental compliance. And
Yeah.
if you guys need more information, call me.
There's a big exposure with the rental piece, so I know that it's, time to yawn. But it's gonna be important if you wind up getting a dispute and we don't have all of our paperwork in line, so. We're doing this to protect everybody, not to be a pain, trust me. Thank you for mentioning that, Adona, and in New Jersey, we're gonna make that a requirement if you do rentals that you have to go through, because there have been no less than 3 significant changes that have occurred in the past, that since COVID or even more recently. And we find that a lot of agents are not aware of that, so have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you this Friday, because we're not off this Friday. I'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Rob. Bye.